got him, we got him, we got him. We got him.
Hey guys, Kilo21 here. I'm here with a new video about how to install something called an R-hop. Basically, the R-hop's the most prolific hopup modification that you can make to this day. It was made by a person named HunterSeeker5 on forums who wanted to basically beat out flat hops and to improve on the G-hop design. What the R-hop does is magnify something called the Magnus effect, which is the air's effect on a round object. Basically, we're going to be looking at the backspin portion of this physics property, or law, I guess you would call it. But yeah, so I'm just going to get started here. So basically what I have in front of you is called the IR hop Z-kit. The IR hop allows you to use R hops in temperatures below, I believe it's like 40 degrees or something like that. There's a profound effect on rubber and temperature. So HunterSeeker5 actually made this bluer material that I need because the region I'm playing in. I have noticed no performance differences in the original R hop material and the IR hop, so I can't really comment there, but I have actually noticed a difference in the Z-kit and the normal install. I personally prefer the Z-kit over the normal install method purely because the way you can install the Z-kit is actually a lot different than the way you install the normal R-hop. You basically don't have to touch either the inner or outer channel, but with the original R-hop, you would need to actually modify both the inner and outer channels, as I will show you later. I'm going to be showing you the way that the Z-kit is supposed to be installed, plus a little tweak of my own. You'll see a lot of people that modify these kits, that modify the Z-kits based on the inner diameter, so they'll make the outer diameter flush completely so it rolls very smoothly, but then they'll modify the inner diameter, which I do not like. If you modify the inner diameter, you're going to be affecting the way the BB makes contact, even though it might be a very minute change. But basically, oh yeah, I never really told you guys what the Z-kit was. The Z-kit is basically this HunterSeeker5's way of making R-hop installs easier. It has 3 different channels to address 3 very popular barrel window design. And just to note, the barrel I'm going to be working with today is the ZCI 363 millimeter barrel with the straight cut, not the curve cut. You'll notice when you get into R-hop install intimate more, you'll notice that the curved windows on the hop-up barrels are very. You need to basically modify the window in order to properly install it. I personally don't like installing it on curved barrels. So yeah, so let's get started. Alright, so let's get started. So basically the first step is to pick out which R-hop patch you want to use in the Z-kit. With the 3 different channels inside the R-hop patch Z-kit, you need to basically select the one that is the flushest on either the outer diameter or the inner diameter. And that's going to be basically dependent on which method you're going to use. I personally I don't like touching the inner diameter, so I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to basically select my patch based on how flush it is with the inner diameter. It basically needs to look like it's part of the barrel. I've already went ahead and selected the best one, which I personally thought was going to be the largest part of the Z-kit. the largest window curve of the Z kit, I guess you will call it. Basically, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to either measure out your patch and cut it, as indicated with this card, and that's the method I'm gonna choose to actually go with right now, since I'm incredibly lazy, and this is not a customer's gun, this is a friend's gun, so I'm gonna take shortcuts. But basically, you can either measure it out or you can Dremel out the window. So I believe that's a half or so inch. But with the Dremel, you'll use a reinforced cutting bit, and you'll take away this part of it. Oh, you can use a mill too, I guess, but not a lot of people have that laying around. But you basically take off this extra material and then you just lay it in, and that's actually the proper way to do it. But a lot of people aren't confident with the Dremel, don't have a mill handy, so this is what I recommend. Just basically cutting on a note paper. I've actually seen little performance differences with one of my friend's guns, Drew Kines. I think I'm saying that right. I actually cut his barrel window for him, since he's an awesome guy and he deserves range after having a gun that shoots 50 feet for 2 years now, and that actually outranges my gun, which ranges at about 330 feet using a laser rangefinder. So I guess there is some difference, but you're still going to be getting really good effective distance as long as you install it right and as long as you take your time. And again, yeah, basically just taking your time. So I'm just going to cut this real fast since I have it all measured out. I am doing this live. I don't have one or two extra stuff laying around. I do have a few extra guns to Rhop and a few extra guns to Tekon, but this is actually a friend's gun, and with that previous comment of mine, I don't think he'll be very happy with me, but it's whatever. He got all the stuff for free because I love you, BB. Hey, Zach. But anyways, so I just cut the patch, fit it in. It should be snug, not too snug, and it should just go in like that. Super easy, and you can probably tell, let me see, let me look at my DSLR, but yeah, it's really high up right now, and that's perfectly fine since you're just barely installing it. But yeah, so the next step is basically to glue it down after you cut the patch and after you radius it, of course. Radiusing is where you take the front part of this patch that should be along this part of the barrel window right here, and shaving it down a little bit so it doesn't have this thing called a pinch jam. Now, pinch jams are really bad, and pinch jams are basically when the front part caves in or something like that, and it causes your BBs to whip up extremely fast, and that's not something you want during a game. So I'm just gonna curve this out a little bit here. I'm in the middle of packing up, so like I don't have all my proper equipment, like gluing, like the gluing part, which I'm about to show you. I actually don't have my toothpicks out because for some reason I thought that was a great thing to pack since it was out of the way, and I don't really use it for anything but tech work. So to glue it, I actually recommend you getting the SH5 Rhop install kit or something like that. It actually is super handy because he actually 3D prints these to be exactly to be really tight on the inside, and to actually be like this little spiraling design that will eventually fit snugly with any barrel assembly. And that way, and this is just to prevent glue from being a bit too runny. Actually, I'm gonna be lazy and not try to find my toothpicks. But did we use all my super glue? No, we did not. Ooh, that's a lot. But I'm just gonna use my X-Acto knife. Don't use an X-Acto knife. Use something else. Don't be like me. Don't be lazy. And just put it on. Basically, just put glue on the side windows here. And make sure it's something that doesn't run If you have running, that's bad. It's really hard to polish and clean the barrel if it runs on the inside, so again, make sure that's snug. And install the patch super fast here. And you don't have to press down, but basically in this part of the install, the super glue is going to help raise the patch a little bit, so it makes it extremely flush, and it gives it that light contact that our hops are designed to give. I'm just going to put that aside. Sorry for blocking your view there. This, by the way, this is the first time I've actually recorded a video with my new macro lens. So I'm sorry if it just seems to be focused on this barrel window here, but I guess that's kind of the point. Let me just readjust it just because I moved it. Yeah, it looks cool. It looks good. But anyways, so after you have it done, you'll notice that it's protruding off the side, and that's actually not a good thing, because it needs to be completely flush so the bucking can apply proper pressure, and also because with the flat hop bucking, where you remove the little pad on the bucking, it needs to just slip right over without any bumps, just to make sure air seal is complete. So what you'll do is you'll take basically a strip of sandpaper. I recommend 400 grit. This is definitely not 400 grit. This is 100 grit because I cannot find my sandpaper to save my life. So I went out and bought 100 grit. And you just basically take a long strip and you file it down. And by the way, this step, let me make sure I'm still able, you guys are still able to see it. Yeah. So just to note that this step can be done with a Dremel. And I would recommend that you actually do it with a Dremel. But again, it goes back to the packing thing. I forgot that I packed my Dremel first as well, and so I don't have it here. And that's okay, by the way, if you're scratching up your barrel. It's gonna happen. I mean, it's not a big deal. No one's gonna see your barrel. I mean, no one's gonna criticize you. If you are installing any kind of R hop inside a Mad Bull barrel, you're most likely going to chip off that black Teflon layer that Mad Bulls have, and that's perfectly fine. Just don't go and purposely trying to ruin your barrel, I guess. But I personally just to talk about barrels since I'm doing this. By the way, you'll just use the basic green grinding bit for the Z-kit, for this patch if you want to on the Dremel. So anyways, to rant about barrels, one of my friends, Rob Norman, actually started talking about the Z-kit, and not the Z-kit, but the ZCI barrel that I have here. And this is actually my test of, this is one of 10 barrels that I bought in order to test them for consistency and stuff like that. I'll post results later, but hopefully that's going into, all the barrels are going to go into my teammates' guns, 9th group, and they're swag guns, so let's hope this goes well. A little advice for if you're going to do this by hand like I am, to get a very long strip of sandpaper, because you just have to pull less and it'll sand off a lot more. You'll see how much progress I'm actually making here. It's a lot more flush. I'm actually able to pass my little testing thing, and super easy, super nice. It's just really, that's all that's really necessary to get an R-hop. People think R-hops are crazy hard, or you need like some special equipment. Yeah, I guess if you want to go get a mill and like mill out stuff and be all crazy, sure. But I personally find R-hops to be enjoyable and something I do on the side besides my normal tech work, purely because I don't know, it's just really easy and really nice to do. If you get fast enough at it, you can do like R-hop install in about 10 or 15 minutes max. I've done I've done like an R-hop install like this in about 10 minutes, like not just thinking around and actually seriously focus. And then I've done an ER hop in about 20 minutes, and that's because my bit is really my cutting bit is really worn down. For some reason it hasn't broken, so it's really slow. But just don't go and claim that Rhop made you a good tech and that you're a great tech merely because you have an Rhop install. I've actually been quote teased about that unquote by other techs in the community about being like this Rhop only guy, and I'm not sure if it was malicious or not, and it sounded like it, but it's whatever. Basically, my point of saying that is make sure you are being a well-rounded tech rather than being an Rhop specialist, which is kind of annoying. But anyways, yeah, and look at this, and it's really smooth, really flat. Normally what you would do at this point is you will pull this out, and you would push a BB down there, and if it doesn't require a lot of force and it slides right out the other end, that means you're done. After that, what you would do is you would take your bucking and you would flip your bucking inside out and remove that little bump on that little nub on the bucking that actually makes contact with the BB stock. So basically, that's called a flat hop, and you'll flat hop it, and you will get something called a either an m-nub or an eraser, pinky eraser stuff, and you'll take these m-nubs or pinky erasers and basically install it in your hopup arm as the nub, and it's super easy, super fast. With this I'm estimating that it's gonna maybe overhop a little bit. No, it's pretty flush. This is going to be actually one of the better installs just because of how flush it is, but super easy, super fast. See, the glue is coming off a little bit, but that's perfectly fine. It's pretty snug in there, but I guess we can re-glue it. But yeah, that's basically an Rhop install. Super easy, super fast. So if you have any questions about Rhops, if you have any questions about teching, feel free to ask. Yeah, have a great day, guys. This is Kilo21 out.